Hello, welcome to my hobby bench. My name is Ken, and today we're going to continue to work on the AMT 132nd Studio Series TIE Fighter. So when we last left off, we had painted the inside of our cockpit, and we're getting to the point now where we need to put a clear coat on and apply the decals. Now for the positioning of the decals, it actually is not in the instructions, it's on the box. So you can see the decals going on in here, as well as in here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to apply the decals after I put on a clear coat, and we'll come back and see how it looks. Okay, so the parts have all been clear coated. I was using X35, which is the semi-gloss clear from Tamiya. I'm gonna let that dry for just a short little while here before I apply my decals. In the meantime, I'm gonna move on to step 8. And step 8 here, we are just attaching this, I don't know if it's a rear view mirror type situation. Whatever this piece is, we're going to apply that to these parts here in front of this window here. And then we can prime the inside of this all black so we can get some light blocking in. So I'm going to go ahead and attach part 35. Okay, here we go to attach our part. I've test fitted it already. It fits in there really nice. Again, I don't know what it actually is. You can correct me from saying it's a rear view observer of some sort, be it mirror, camera, that sort of thing. If you know what it is, give a shout out in the comments and let me know. I'd appreciate that. Well, let's put some of our glue on here. There we go. Now I'm going to go and prime the insides of this all black so that I can have it light blocked. Okay, so we have our hull pieces all painted black on the inside for light blocking. Next we're going to move on to the decals. So we have some decals here for the panels, some of the panels in here, as well as this back view. I don't know if it's a window or just a view camera or something. So we'll get these decals on and see how it looks. Okay, so I've managed to apply the first decal. I put the decals in the water here like I normally do for about 12 seconds, but at that point the decal was already floating off the backing paper. So in my opinion, I would suggest that you only soak your decals for a few seconds, bring them out and set them on your paper towel, and continue on from there. So I'm going to do just that. Now I'm finding with these decals, you only need to let them go into the water for just a short moment, and then at that point it's almost ready to come off the backing. So I'll put on my microset quickly here, and this should all be already, as you can see, to be put on. So if I look at my directions, I can see how it goes. And we'll put it in place just like that. I have to say that I'm very happy with these decals. They're some of the best I've worked with in a while, and I just hope it's going to stay that way for the other smaller ones. So here we are with our decals down. I'm very happy with them. They went down extremely well. They were ready to use extremely quickly, and they responded well to being burnished down by a moist Q-tip. One thing of note though is when you are removing the decals and when you're getting to the rear screen, whichever one you choose, there is one little small decal over here, number 18, that was under the panel screen here. and I don't know where that one goes, but make sure you don't lose it because you'll probably be needing it later on. So I'm going to give these a clear coat and then we'll move on. So next we're going to look at the bottom of the hull. This is the part that would go underneath the pilot right here, and that's where we need to put in some LED strip lights. You have a couple options here. You can take this plug here and put it in the bottom if you're not going to use the stand that's provided. It is keyed, so it only goes in the one way, and you could do that. Alternatively, if you're going to be using the stand, you can use this just straight for the tube, like that. Now, because I'm going to be lighting, I'm going to want my lighting to come up this right here and come down the tube to my stand with all my wires. So what I'm going to have to do is cut off the top of this here so that the wires can come out. I'll have to epoxy this stand in place so that there is that room. And other than that, we'll paint this all black afterwards to light block it and look at getting our LEDs in here. So I'm going to get started on that and we'll be right back. Now you can see I can insert the rod like that. It does come through, but I'm not going to have it go that way. But I can just bring it just down so it'll be a little lower so we can fit our wiring in here underneath the pilot. So now I can go and I can prime this for our light blocking. Okay, because we're going to be lighting, here's our lights. I have some pre-resisted LEDs. These are, I believe, 1.5 millimeter. I have both green and red to use. So let's just see how this works. So we'll take one of our lights here. We'll attach the negative and positives to see how it looks. Just like that. And so there we go. We have our red LED. We'll have a couple of those in here. We'll disconnect it. And this one should be our green. And it is. So there we have our lights that we're going to be using. Now, to mount these lights, where they're going to be mounted, I'm going to need two of them coming out of the back here as the engines. So, they give you two of these parts here, part 28, and they just get glued in here and glued in here, just like that. Then we're going to take our clear parts. The instructions say it's part 56, but that's not where I found them. I found them on the clear sprue under number 61 is what I found them at. So just keep that in mind if you're building this kit. So I'm going to get these glued on and get my clear parts inserted, and we'll continue working on getting some red LEDs started in here. Alright, so we have our parts in here now. The clear parts, I used the canopy glue, or sorry, micro crystal clear to secure those. And then I've taken my red LED, kind of got it bent up to kind of get into that area from behind, which you can see is right there, and right here for the other side. So what we'll do is we'll connect our LED and see how it looks. Oh, let's our red light on, and then we'll, there we go, look at that. That looks great. It's just shining out of there like that. It's actually kind of exciting to kind of get it going like that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put in my red LEDs, and we'll come back when that's done. Okay, so here we go to put in our 2 red lights here. I have, I don't know if you can even see it or not, there's a little bump on the very top of the light. So I'm going to stick that in here where the light goes. Sorry, just got to bring it closer to me to make sure it's in there properly. Kind of how I want it. You can bend these wires a little bit. So I have, there we go. Alright, so there we go. Got it in place. Take my hot glue gun. And we'll get some hot glue in there. Just as a note, they're not lying, it is hot glue. Alright, there we go. There we go, that's the first one in. There we go. Just like that. Now, I don't know if this is a good idea or not, but I am using a black glue stick for my glue gun. So it's got these off Amazon. I figured that might help with the light blocking. As long as it doesn't completely cut out my lights, you should be good. That's 1 and 2. Oh, I can see my light. Looks like it worked well. And then now I just gotta, oh, see, it's already coming out again. I gotta re-aim this and put in some more my black hot glue. So I'll be right back. So here we are with our lights glued in, one a lot better than the other. I guess that's gonna come with experience. But let's hook them up and we'll see if they work. And get my reds, I guess positives, and get my negatives. There's that one. Oh. There we go on that one. So there we go. You can see if I turn on down this light. Let's turn down this one. There you go. Now you can really start to see those red lights. So we'll get those two connected. I'll solder them together and get them ready to run down to the red lights that are going to be in the bottom underneath the pilot. So we'll be right back. there's my first kind of attempts at soldering here. Seems to have worked. The shrink tubing I put here, just so I can remember to slide it down later and cover up the solder joint in between the these lights and the strip lighting. So what I'm going to do right now is going to turn on my power supply here and get my cables, and we'll see if this is working. Let's see. Yep, and it's working. If you can see those red lights. So, perfect. So I'm going to move on now, and I'll put the strip lighting down on the bottom here and see what we can come up with for that. So here I am with my red LED strip tape. I'm going to give it a test now and see if it too is working. Hopefully it is, and it is actually working at 9 volts. I know it can do 12, would be better, but 9 volts should allow it to light up. Oh. And it does. So I think that's going to look good underneath our pilot seat there. I don't know how well you can see it on the camera, but to me it's glowing nice and bright. So I'm going to get some pieces cut off here, and we'll get it placed in the base here under the pilot, and I'll be right back. Okay, you can see here I've cut out 4 little sections to fit into my underneath the pilot area here. Oh, but that'll be where they'll be going, kind of a 4-piece. This lighting strip lighting actually has adhesive backing, so we can actually strip the cover off it and just push them down. I've heard people say that you should definitely not just rely on that adhesive, so I will also use some of my hot glue to help hold it in. I know some people use CA glue, that sort of thing, but I think I'll just go with the hot glue. Also of note, I am aware there is a positive and a negative side to these, and I don't know how well you can see that, but it does have a positive and a negative right here beside where it says 12 volts. So you got to make sure you go positive, positive, negative to negative. You don't want to mess that up, otherwise it won't work. So I'm going to start connecting some wires to these lights here, and then I'm going to look at installing them permanently and finishing off with any soldering that needs to be done. So I'll get that done, and I'll be right back. Have wrecked that. You have to try again. Well, that did seem to work. The test will be when the power's hooked up. Okay, so I'm gonna, now that I have all these lights in place here, they're not sticking that well. I will come back with the hot glue, but I'm gonna now connect these red lights with these red lights. I'm realizing now I don't really need the shrink tube here to go over a joining, because it won't go over that, but I will use it to seal in these parts right here. Just going to keep these two wires together, so to speak. So I'm just going to shrink them down like that. That'll keep these wires nice and tight together. I'll do the same to the one over here. Just like that. There we go. Now I can come in here, and if we look at our lighting here, so it's going to be red as to the, where's the positive is here, and the negative is going to go to the inside one. That's better. Alright, so there we go. We'll connect up a couple of wires coming off of this last one here, and that'll actually be our going down to power down the tube. So I'll need some longer wires for that, but for now I'm going to just connect a temporary power source just to see if it is actually all still working. Alright, so we kind of got everything hooked up here. Just got a couple test wires here. We'll hook it up and see if it works. Like that, and like that. Okay, so I got 3 out of 4. But that one's just kind of in the middle, so I don't know. That one must be just dead, or I did something to it. Our engines at the rear are working. So that's good. So now I'm going to have to go back and we'll look at replacing this one piece of strip here with another piece, and we'll see if that works. So here's my new strip. It works, so we'll try to put it in. I've put a little bit of solder on each of the connection points and double checking the light still works. Okay, so we got that soldered on. Before we put it in place, I want to double check to make sure it's working still. There we go. It works. So we got all 4 of those, and let's make sure we got that in the rear engines, and we do. All right, so I can stick down this last strip of lights, and then I'll get some hot glue on them. Okay, so here we have it. We have our lights connected. They're all glued into place, and they're all working. So this is a good stopping point for today. When we come back next time, we're going to install our lights here on the blasters, and we'll look at putting the metal model together and moving on towards the wings. So thanks for joining me. I look forward to seeing you in the next one, and you guys take care.